Haha. Welcome and greetings, fellow Fright Clubbers. That's right, I said fellow Fright Clubbers. Haha. You heard me. Once again, though, welcome to the Fright Zone. I am Laz, your host, and today I'm going to be doing something not different, but a little something special. I'm going to be doing something about Mother's Day. Now, I know a lot of you be like, but Laz, why didn't you just post it on Mother's Day? Why are you posting it on Tuesday? And that's where I say, well, because one, I'm a creature of habit, and I like posting when I always post. I like posting on Tuesdays. And two, there's like a billion people posting videos on Mother's Day. I don't want to get lost in the flood. And three, I was trying to figure out what theme I should be doing today. Like what movie I should be covering. And I know when it comes to horror, there's thousands of movies about moms. There's, I mean, the obvious one, Mother's Day, both the original Troma movie and the remake with Rebecca De Mornay. I've never seen the remake, and the original, I enjoy it. I haven't seen it enough to be able to speak about it off the cuff as I usually do. You know, I could have chose Us, which movie I really enjoyed, but I've only seen it once, so I really can't do. I can't do that. And there's a few others like that where, yeah, I've seen it, but not enough. Or there's movies I've seen like 1,000 times. Like I could do Friday 13th, which is all about a mother's love for her son. I could also do Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, about Nancy's mom and how she's very controlling. I could do that. I could also do a movie that I'm sure none of you heard of called Mama's Boys with Jamie Lee Curtis as the titular mom. However, I can't watch that movie. I have my own personal reasons. Just trust me, I can't get through it. With all those aside, though, I decided to choose a movie that to me is all about a mother's love for her son or a son's love for his mother. And I am choosing Psycho, the original. Not the remake that never should happen, nor any of the sequels. I will mention the sequels in passing. Now, I also figure it's Psycho. There's going to be spoilers. And if you don't want spoilers, go watch a movie that's older than me. And come back and do this again. Other than that, I figured I'm good. And the movie like Psycho to me is almost it's a perfect movie. It to me is like the original Halloween. Which whilst I know it has its flaws, to me Halloween is a perfect movie. Psycho is the same way. And you get Janet Leigh playing Marion Crane, a woman who decides to basically steal money from the bank she works for so that her and her lover can be together. And we meet her lover. Actually, we meet both of them. As the camera kind of pans through a window, and we see them, post coitus. And you see he's a youngin, and if I remember correctly, he's with his wife. Not, I mean, he's married, and Marion Crane's the other lady, if I remember correctly. But she does that. She goes to her bank, takes the money, and leaves. Because her boss trusts her enough to give her a good chunk of change to go and deposit to the bank. And she says, well, no, that noise. I'm depositing it to myself. So she goes, she leaves, and during her travels, she had stopped by a cop, uh, and you see her, freaking out, sort of speaking, basically trying to figure out how to say stuff and or not give herself away. Cop lets her go, and she winds up at the Bates Motel. And this is where we meet Norman, played by, of course, Anthony Perkins. And he plays his part so well. Like, he's such a loving young man. Yeah, he's weird, but he seems like a regular dude. And you hear him talk about his mom. And during the sequence, later on, as Marion Crane is getting ready for her shower, um, you find out that Norman has peepholes in between his office and the shower of that room, so you can see the ladies, get undressed, or whatever. And of course, this is where the infamous shower scene happens. And this is where we're going to stop talking about the movie for a couple seconds. I'm going to talk about my personal history with Psycho. It's not a long story. Don't get too excited, bro. But as I was growing up, of course, the first movie was released before I was born, but the two sequels that had theatrical releases were released when I was growing up, and the releases and the commercials for these movies play with the fact that everyone knows that the twist of this movie. I didn't. I had no idea. I never seen Psycho, so I kept thinking that Norman and his mom were two separate people, and mom was the killer. That's what the commercials kept saying. I kept hinting at it anyway. So that's what I thought it was. I had no idea. Skip ahead. I'm in high school, and I decided to rent Psycho from my school library, and I don't know why. Like, I can't remember why I did it, because it sounds like a an assignment. I just can't remember why. But I remember watching it and absolutely fell in love with it, which you wouldn't think would happen with a high schooler, but for me, oh, it was so good. Like, everything about it is so good. And then they get to the twist. I'm like, oh, okay. I felt dumb. Won't lie to you. But so that's that. Let's get back to the movie. As Marion's taking a shower, someone comes in wearing a wig, a dress, with a big old cleaver knife, and they kill Marion. Which, as I'm sure you all know, no one in the '60s saw that coming. Marion Crane, we've been following her the entire movie, and Janet Leigh was the biggest star in the movie. So no one saw her dying coming. Again, genius. Absolute genius. Also, always annoyed me whenever people say that about Scream. About how Drew Barrymore was like, her death was like, it was like the same thing. I'm like, not really. Like, if I remember correctly, when Scream came out, Drew Barrymore wasn't exactly a giant star. Like she was doing for Poison Ivy, which is a low budget booby movie, basically. And she didn't get big until after Scream. I remember now. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but that's basically how I remember it. So I always got annoyed by that. Be it as it may, you hear Norman go, "Mother, no, God, mother," and then he takes Marion, puts her in her car, and dumps her car in this lake that's by the hotel. And the best part about it is the car gets stuck. And you, as the audience, feel bad for Norman. Like, you feel bad that this is getting stuck. And he might get caught for something he didn't do. Again, brilliant move. And at that point, a detective shows up. And I believe it's Marion. I believe he was hired by Marion's sister, if I remember correctly. And then, dude starts going upstairs, and then Mrs. Bates show up with a knife, slices him across the face, and then he falls downstairs in a way I've never seen anyone ever fall in my life. And he falls backwards, but he's still like tumbling on the stairs, and he falls and crashes. It's a hell of a cool effect. It's just, I've never seen it happen. And finally, Mrs. Crane's sister shows up with, I want to say a cop. I believe that's right. Yeah. And then she, uh, Janet's sister, I keep saying that because I can't remember the character's name, but Janet's sister winds up in the basement of the hotel and finds Mrs. Bates sitting in a rocker with her back to her. And when she goes up and turns the chair, you find out that Mrs. Bates is dead. And it's just like, you get the hair piece, whatever, but her face is a skull. And Norman comes busting in wearing his mother's gown with a with a with a wig and the kniffy, and he starts going towards her sister, and then the cop grabs him from behind, and it's a really cool effect. He grabs him, and he's basically peeling the dress out of him. So as Norman is struggling to get free to go kill Mrs. Crane's sister, he's coming out of his mom's dress. So it's almost like he's, basically coming into his own, but he's still screaming and struggling, and it's just a perfect sequence. Again, perfect. And then comes the part that a lot of people hate. I can understand. It makes me chuckle. Because you have the almost the explanation scene you would get in the mystery stories back in the day. So you're talking about Norman, what's going on, and why his mom's in his head. And one of the cops goes, "So he's a transvestite," and the way he says it is pitch perfect hysterical. Like almost he speaks, you go, of course that's what it is. But as they leave Norman in the interrogation room, his mom's in his head, and his mom's basically saying, don't worry about this. We're good. We're normal. Don't let them think anything about this. And then at one point, as he's talking about, a fly lands on his lip, and look at that. Why? They'll know. Why she's so normal, and how about she wouldn't even hurt a fly. And as she says it, and a smile on Norman's face, you're like, oh, this man's freaking insane. So that's my thing. And I love this movie, absolutely. All the pieces. It's my favorite Hitchcock movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it. And if you haven't seen this, please watch it. Find it, rent it, wherever you can. Watch it. It's such a good time. And anyway, kids, that's it for today. I'm off like a dirty shirt. I hope you all had a great Mother's Day. And I hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, catch y'all on the Fright Zone.